Do you know how to use special products to factor an expression? Well, first, let's look at a normal quadratic expression, and then we're going to look at a special product. Here's a quadratic expression, x squared plus 5x plus 6. In this quadratic expression, we have our squared value first, then we have a second term, and finally we have a third term. We add two numbers together to get the second term, so we add to get the second, and we multiply the same two values to get the third. So if we were going to factor this quadratic expression into two binomials, we would factor it into x and x plus 2 plus 3. And if we multiply these two binomials together, we will get x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6, which simplifies to x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now, we want to factor a special product. Let's take a look at a special product. A special product is an example like this one, x squared minus 25. Now here, there isn't a middle term. Notice there isn't an x term in the middle. When we were looking at the quadratic expression, we had x squared plus 5x plus 6. If you look at this special product, you'll see that the middle term, the x term, is missing. So we are going to factor this special product, but we're going to be looking for different values than we would be looking at for this one. Let's factor it into two binomials. The x squared breaks down to x and x. Now, we want two terms that multiply together to get negative 25, but add together to get 0, because this middle term is 0 in this expression. What two values multiply together to get 25? 5 and 5. Plus 5 minus 5 would add together to get 0 and multiply together to get negative 25. Let's look at one more and then you might find a pattern. Here we have x squared minus 81. Again, notice there's a middle term missing, so the middle term is going to be 0. Let's factor it into two binomials. X squared becomes x times x. Two values that multiply together to get 81, 9 and 9, plus 9 minus 9 will give me a negative 81. You're probably beginning to notice a pattern. Here's the one we did on the other screen, which factored to x plus 5, x minus 5. Now, look at the pattern. Look at the pattern here, look at the pattern here, and let's look at one more example. Let's say I have x squared minus 169. I factor into two binomials, x times x plus 13 minus 13. One way you could think of it is, if you take the square root of this number, it equals 13, it will give you the two values that go in to the binomials. Now you've been able to use special products to factor.